To the Ashes Rubies channel.
Good morning.
You're Vicky. I'm John, where we talk about life and recovery and so much more. This is our live stream or podcast, and it's a great morning.
We record our live stream and then place it on a podcast.
That's right.
So you could be listening anywhere.
This is our meditation time where we take an idea, typically out of a life of recovery, and then we get to roll around with it and take it throughout the day and let God speak to us, because that's what meditation is when we're listening, we're meditating on what God will say to us. And so we did a little meditation last night, and you know what God said to me? He said, I need to play like an adult needs to play. And so I took it as like it was about taking care of my physical health in a different way. And for me, I felt that God was saying that he wants me to play. So I don't know what my inkling would be. I want to play a racket sport, not tennis, maybe badminton.
Why do you discount tennis?
Tennis is like, maybe I don't discount it, but it's
we literally have a tennis court in our backyard.
I know, but it's
not our backyard.
My intrepidation to tennis would be the immense space that it requires to run. More running. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, but I love playing squash. I do enjoy playing squash. I'm not very good at it.
Can you just stand in one spot and reach the ball?
Squashing?
Yeah.
No. Squashing is like sprinting. And then racquetball would be more of, if you're good at it, more about just standing in a spot and hitting the ball. I might be grossly wrong. I don't want to offend anybody that's a professional racketeer player. We used to play that game in school, like public school, against the wall. I forget what it was called. I think it was a bad name. We weren't allowed to say the name.
I don't know.
But it was like handball against the wall. So I enjoy sporting. I don't enjoy like jogging or bicycling or like those kind of workouts, or like rowing machines or stationary bikes. I just feel like that is pointless and a waste of time. But it's not, because it's for my physical health. And I know deep down inside it's good to take multivitamins and to brush your teeth. And you don't necessarily see the results right away. And I'm very... As a recovery person, I like to see results right away. Maybe that's not a recovery thing. Maybe that's a John Ruby thing or a male thing. I don't know. But I'm like, I need to see the results. Like if I can't look that way in 2 weeks of working out, why bother doing it? But I think like working out is cardio affects my whole life, I think. And it would give me more energy if I dropped a couple pounds and had fun doing it. So that's what God was leading me into my meditation last night. So if there's any squash players, maybe badminton. I used to play badminton. Badminton's pretty fun. Not ping pong. Ping pong, I don't think you get enough workout. Although, like when you watch the Olympics, those guys are working out. Those guys are good. Do you like sports? You don't like sport?
I am not.
You like activity, though.
Yeah, I like activity. So I'm really looking forward to kayaking season returning. But I am a leisure kayaker. I have an inflatable kayak.
That would be a good word for...
You very disrespectfully refer to as a dinghy, which it is not. Which there's nothing wrong with a dinghy. I actually have a friend who has like an inflatable dinghy, and she takes it out on the river and she loves it.
I'm not making fun of your dinghy.
But I love my inflatable kayak. My goal is to spend like half a day at least once every 2 weeks on the kayak.
That doesn't seem unreasonable. Once
a week is hard because like I have to work 3 days a week.
Maybe you'll have a full-time job this summer.
Oh no.
It seems like things are ramping up and getting busy. Does that cause you anxiety?
Yeah.
You haven't had like
I've been really enjoyed the pace of my life the last like 2.5 years.
So what would you call it? You would say you have a lifestyle, like a working lifestyle? Is that what?
Well, no, I would say I was unemployed and then a pandemic hit. And then I realized, wow, I've been crazy busy my entire life. Like my whole life, I've been so busy doing things and going and getting kids ready for school and then going to work and then coming home and making dinner and doing activities in the evening and then getting involved in lots of different things and doing volunteer work and
And you haven't had
I've
a
never been home.
office job, like your trade, let's say, that was very 9 to 5. You have not done that in 3 years.
2.5.
2.5 years. So what if?
I mean, it would be 3 years in like.
What if
in
tomorrow things happened and things went down, and the government of Canada, some needy politician called you up and said, "Vicky, I need you. Like, you are needed in the office. It is ready for your return." What would go on inside
already,
of you?
Though. That's already happened a few
Finance
times.
Canada calls you, "Vicky, you are needed."
I think I've gotten like 3 calls to like come work for.
Are your hands sweaty right now thinking about it?
No, because I was like, well, the one call was like, "Hey, we really want you to apply for this job," and then the other call was like, "There's a potential that I'll need you to come to work," and I was like,
and you're like, you don't
so
want me to work for you.
Far beyond who you think I am. That I am no longer that person, and something has happened inside of me, and I'll just be running.
You don't want me to.
I'll just be running groups out of your office.
I'll be doing my rubber dinging.
I'll be talking to people. I am now doing what I enjoy.
I would say you're a vastly different person than you were 3 years ago, and not in a like, and not in a condemning you can't do work properly. I think you can do work way better. You just have a different focus.
Well, and I would say, what I thought you were going to say is, what if something went down and our family needed money, and so you had to go get a job? Me. Oh, and you. I was like, that. I just.
You know what could happen though? If that went down, maybe we could just do that together. And the dream of owning a tractor trailer and going cross country would actually come true.
That sounds terrible.
Remember, that was my dream when I was 25. I said, when we retire, this is our retirement plan.
7 minutes
I'm going to buy a tractor trailer. You can literally live in tractor trailers, by the way, now. I guess everybody knows that with the occupation.
We are 7 minutes in, and it feels like we've talked about nothing that we came here to talk about, except that we kind of did. Because the new structure of life is that we have meditation time in the morning. Every morning.
Let the Father... I think, and this is one thing that I've been going through with a few people, is that we love to have the Father. Like, for the most part, we like to be the children.
Not everybody.
God has the responsibility. The thing is God your employer? That's what's changed with you, is that you could be employed by the government of Canada. I'm sure there's a job. What's that called? Job description. Mm-hmm. And you would look at that and cringe and go like, where can I fit the people that God wants me to speak to throughout the day? Or, yeah, that's what I mean, the focus. So when it comes to tractor trailering, I'm still excited about that. So maybe we could travel the country. I'd have to get a pardon and stuff, but we would start in Canada. And then once I got a pardon, we could go through the States, and then we could go to Mexico. That'd be fun. Oh, what a dream. What a dream. What kind of retirement dreams do you have? All right. Good morning. Good morning, my friends. All right, here we go. This is our morning meditation. It is your read.
Oh,
it is the
24th today?
Yeah,
okay.
24th.
Sometimes I find myself relapsing into the old patterns that it used to dominate my thinking and feeling before I came to recovery. I was crushed and defeated by the daily battering of living life with an alcoholic. I was afraid of everything and everybody. Then, by attending meetings, by reading Al-Anon material. Al-Anon Faces Alcoholism is the book that they're recommending. My courage began to seep back into me. Yet sometimes facing a new crisis or a challenge, such as being asked to speak at a meeting, all the old fears and doubts come back, surging back, but only for the moment. I remind myself of all I have learned in the program and of the new dignity and confidence it has given me. Today's reminder: when I am able to accept the help of my higher power, it makes me feel capable of doing anything I am called upon to do. I am overcoming my fears. I am acquiring a comfortable new confidence. Mm-hmm. Courage is fear that has said its prayers.
Wow. Courage is fear that has said its prayers. When you're reading that, I thought of one main thing is that I think we believe as a whole, broad paintbrush, we have lots of choices. I have started to see that we have very little choices, especially in addiction. We think that we're making choices or control or whatever it is, but we're actually being driven by a slave driver named fear. And so I believe like my choice in the morning with it, including God's power, is to connect to him. Like that's where I entered the life of recovery and prayer and meditation. And that's a daily thing. What I've seen is, and I do it myself, is I try to hold my breath. Let's say God is my air. I like to, and I don't even want to, but I go down the old pathways and the trails. So when you said even about speaking in public or speaking at a meeting, I remember the other day we're involved in a bigger group down in the States, and they asked me to speak, and I was like, what an honor. Like, and I get nervous and I'm like, what am I going to speak on? This is like the biggest day of my life. Like, oh my goodness. Like they're all counting on me. And then I find out another person in our group 2 weeks later already spoke there. And then I'm like, I'm not even their first choice. Like they probably got stuck. And it's like, oh, it's an American freaking holiday. Like no one's even going to be at the meeting. They just were like, who's expendable? John Ruby in Canada. Like there's not going to be anybody here anyway. It's American holiday. And it's like, isn't that the old trails of worry? Like that's the old pathway in my thinking. And I think God's gift to me is that 2%, the cast of characters stay here. And only by God's power and his love, I can overcome them. Otherwise, if I don't have God's defense on those characters speaking positive affirmation, giving me his spirit of love, giving me his spirit of joy, giving me that spirit of not comparing, the just acceptance, then I don't listen to the cast of characters. But they come back every day. Like I can't shoot them. I can't trap them. Like I try. It's like they're always playing chess. It's like they wake up before me and they play chess. And like this morning, it was a gray day. And we've been working so hard. And I stayed up a little bit late because we came home a little bit late. And I watched a little bit of news. And then the cast of characters are already up playing chess with me. And they're like, you've earned this. Like you earned sleeping in. Like, good job, faithful servant. Now get in the car and I'm going to drive your butt around. And my name is Fear. And it's so easy to get. Oh.
Courage is fear that has said its prayers.
All right. Today, would you say your prayers and just watch out for the old pathways and the old patterns? And so where do they pop up for you? Where's the chess match being played? Are you inviting God into it? Are you inviting his spirit of love and of peace and joy? We will overcome the 2%ers in our minds. And until next time, keep the peace, be of good behavior, and we will see you tomorrow.